Morning peeps, good morning everyone, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Let's have a look and see what there is today. Let's start here. Josh Warrington hoping for Leigh Wood revenge, but having to assess other options. Yeah, that's gone quiet. That's gone really quiet. All the talk was about this fight happening at the City Ground. For you non-football fans, that's the home of Nottingham Forest. Obviously, Leigh Wood is a massive Nottingham Forest fan. But it's not just gone quiet about it happening at the City Ground. It's gone quiet about it happening anywhere. Like, you can still take this to an arena. The City Ground is what, 36, 37,000. You can still go to an arena and fill it out, pack it out. The atmosphere would be insane. But there's no talk about that either. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what either do, by the way. Not just Josh Warrington, what Leigh Wood does. Leigh Wood's obviously been talking about going up in weight. I think Josh has as well. For Josh, and for both of them, but let's stick with Josh. For Josh at this stage of his career, having been a world champion, been in big fights, you want that again. You want to be in a big fight, right? To get the crowd that he does. I mean, they'll always follow Josh, but to get the kind of numbers that we're used to for Josh, you've got to be in a big fight. So, yeah, they've got a difficult, I think they've got a difficult thing in finding what either do, hence why they're trying to pair them against each other again. Mauricio Lara could still be there. I don't know if there's the interest there once was in that fight. I've always said this, the best ever atmosphere I've experienced was at Headingley for the rematch. Obviously, it ended short, but it was so spiteful. That's the only way to describe it. Could they maybe revisit that? Mauricio Lara fought at the weekend. Wasn't great. Lucky to get a draw. But maybe that could be the option. I think that could still do a decent number. Again, these two do not like each other. But I still think they're going to try and make a play for Warrington Wood somewhere. Somewhere, we'll see. Danny Garcia wants Conor Benn fight at 150 pounds in the UK. There ain't no bigger name than me. That just screams payday. I don't blame him. Danny Garcia's had a good career. And, you know, at the end of his career, what's Danny? I'm going to guess Danny's 35. So look. And he hasn't really been active, has he? Danny Garcia is 35. He is 36 in March. Yeah, look. I don't know about no bigger name than Danny Garcia. He is a big name, though. He's a big name. His dad will come over with him and sell the fight. This is obviously with the hope that Conor Benn can get his license back. They did the hearing, I think, sometime last week or the week before. So I guess it's just a case of waiting for the results of that hearing. I'm not sure. I still don't understand the maneuvering of Conor Benn. It still baffles me a little bit. Like, you know, these kind of names that have been thrown out to fight Conor Benn, you would think that Conor Benn is, like, if you didn't know who Conor Benn was, you'd think he's a 35-year-old that they're trying to cash out, when that's clearly not the case. Conor Benn, I think, could still be, when he does come back and fight in the UK, one of the biggest names over here, if not the biggest name over here, because I'm guessing the likes of Fury and AJ will never fight back in the UK. So I don't quite get it. We've heard about the Gervonta Davis offer, Gervonta Davis rejecting that offer. I don't know what the offer was. I heard it was 8 figures, so 10 million at least minimum. That was rejected. But even that was a weird one. Gervonta Davis, you know, 135 pounder. I know we call that Conor Benn, but it's still strange. And now Danny Garcia, who is now a 154 guy who was looking for the Mauricio Lara fight at 160. I mean, aren't there any 147 fight? Like, can we just not get to the table with Mario Barrios and make that fight? Make the Barrios fight, which is a very risky fight, but make that fight. That's a great fight, 147 pounds. And not only that, but then we'll know where Conor is, because Barrios is certainly fringe world level. He's a very good fighter who's been in there with some really good kids. Obviously, he's coming off the Ugas win, but he's been in there with Keith Thurman. He's been in there with Gervonta at 140. Good name. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that one. Let's quickly talk about the Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall press conference. Exactly what I expected. I mean, look, I like a bit of needle. I don't like it when it's fake. I can kind of sense when things have been set up. These two just don't like each other. And it's been brewing and brewing and brewing for 2 years. And then you've got Sam Jones that's jumping in as well. I think this fight's going to do really good numbers. I think DAZN should be very happy with this. I think it will sell out the First Direct Arena. Again, strange choice. I'm going to see Eddie tomorrow. I'm doing the face-off tomorrow as well with these two. And again, I hope it goes as well as I think it will do. But yeah, I think it's going to be really good. And I'm not having, again, I said this the other day, I'm not having, Josh is washed business. I'm not having that nonsense at all. I think I'd favour Jack just, but I don't know why I'm saying that, because I mean, I think the only reason I'm favouring Jack just is because Jack, I think, won the first fight. But I still think there's a lot left in Josh Taylor. The weight does scare me. He looked quite big at the press conference yesterday. I think they're doing another presser today in Manchester. And then they're coming to London to do loads of bits of media. I think they're going to sit down with Radio 5 Live. I know they're going to Talk Sport. They're going to the DAZN head office. They're coming to see me, or I'm going to see them, should I say. But yeah, I like it. Should be a good one. Looking forward to that fight. I see Eddie Hearn has spoken about this Adam Azim versus Dalton Smith clash. And he's pretty much said that, look, we don't have to do purse bids. You can have it. And let's see what Ben Shalom does here then, because this is almost calling his bluff a little bit. Because we've seen in the past, there's been a couple of fights where both camps should have entered into purse bids, both camps being matchroom boxer, and boxers removed him from the purse bids. So Eddie's basically saying, no purse bids, you can have the fight. Put it on Sky. It's okay. Like, let's do it. Be interesting to see what move Ben Shalom does. I think it's a bit too early for Adam Azim. I really do. In fact, I know it's too early. But sometimes you never know, right? You get the opportunity, you take it. All right, let's talk about the main man. 168-pound undisputed king of the division. I do that because I know some of you think Benavidez is the king. I will still refer and differ to Canelo, who has all the belts, right? Unbeaten in that division. Who does Canelo fight in May? Bear in mind, Canelo's date is normally May 5th, May 6th, depending upon when the Saturday lands. We are now 20th of February. So what's that? 20th of March, 20th of April. You're talking 10 weeks. You're talking 10 weeks. Now, that's kind of when, if you're going to fight a Canelo, that's when you get the call and you start fight camp. I mean, I know there is the stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But there's one thing, staying ready and being close to your weight and being fit. And there's another thing, staying ready, knowing that you're going to fight the undisputed king at 168 pound for pound, top 6. Top 5, maybe. There's another thing, right? So Canelo kind of needs to announce who he's fighting now. There are obviously several problems. The biggest problem, I think, being this PBC Amazon thing. Because I guess with PBC and Showtime, maybe Espinoza jumped in and was involved alongside Al Heyman, and it was almost easy, because Canelo has a working relationship with both, to kind of get things over the line. Now with a new platform, a new broadcaster, maybe things are a bit more awkward. Canelo obviously has his guarantee. His guarantee, according to some, is $35 million, which needs to be put in escrow before Canelo even thinks of announcing or naming or starting fight camp. Now, to guarantee Canelo 35 million, like Canelo's always a big draw, right? Like Canelo doesn't go below 5 to 600,000. Hasn't really hit the 1 million number for a long time. I think it was Gennady Golovkin too. But to guarantee that, I mean, I don't know if you're accepting Jamal Charlo as the opponent to guarantee Canelo that kind of money. Do you want to keep Canelo on PBC? Of course you do. He's a big name, the biggest name in boxing. But that guarantee might have to come down a little bit. And I don't know if Canelo's going to accept that, because I don't think Canelo versus Jamal Charlo does big numbers. I don't. Canelo versus Jamal Charlo, I think there was still a bit of an intrigue there. And I think I read that it did 600 to 700,000 pay-per-view buys, which is solid, very solid. Canelo versus Jamal doesn't do that. It doesn't. No way. No way. It might just about creep up to 400, 500,000. And that's your 35 million. That's your guarantee. I mean, you don't operate in the Canelo business and make a loss, but you probably will do if you're having to guarantee him 35 million. Yes, I know the gate receipts will be big, but I'm just talking about his purse and the purse of his opponent. Because whoever's fighting Canelo wants at least 8 figures. You at least want to get close to 7 to 10 million. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see who Canelo announces in May. But I'm guessing there's so much going on behind the scenes as to whether he even fights on PBC. Eddie must have got on the phone and said, okay, what's going on? And Canelo's like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but these guys can't seem to guarantee me my money. What can you do? It will be interesting to see. I guess the only issue for Canelo coming back and fighting on DAZN is the reason he left in the first place. There aren't that many fighters that DAZN have, 168 or 175, that could do big numbers with Canelo. The only two, really, and maybe feelers are being put out there, are Munguia and Berlanga. Munguia and Berlanga. Don't know, as opposed to what's on the other side. Benavidez, David Morrell, not necessarily a big fight. Crawford. I don't know. It's going to be very... I find it intriguing as to who he's going to fight. But again, look, you would take the Canelo fight on 5 weeks' notice. So I'm not trying to say that we have a problem in terms of time frame here. But you do kind of want to get in there. Like, Canelo normally announces it now. We kind of announce it now. The last week of Feb, first week of March, latest. Nothing yet, people. Nothing yet. We all thought we were going to get an announcement, didn't we? When he went on to Mexican TV, and that was basically just to announce that he's still keeping his fights live and free to air on Mexican TV, which is fantastic. Imagine British fighters doing that. But no, nothing yet with regards to an announcement. I'm leaning just towards Jamal Charlo, second Munguia, third, it should be Benavidez number one, but third, maybe Berlanga. I know it's crazy. Don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger. All right. What's this? Manny Pacquiao denied Olympics entry by the IOC. Stop. Just stop, please, Pac-Man. Just stop. Like, I get it. It's so hard. It must be so hard for these fighters to quit. Like Floyd doing all these fucking whatever he does, these little celebrity things, that fights that he has. Just stop. Now Manny Pacquiao wants to fight in the Olympics for the Philippines. Manny Pacquiao has been linked to fighting Conor Benn and Gervonta Davis. Like, what is going on? Like, Pacquiao can't be skint. Although a presidential campaign really can end your money. But surely not. I don't know. All right, what else do we have? Let's have a look if there's anything else. By the way, a couple of big wins. Shout out to Shaki Foster. Big win for him on the weekend. Congratulations. Now, I think I said in the video that he needs to move up, I think, to lightweight and really challenge some of those guys and get those big money fights. I mean, who knows? I mean, he could be as a champion moving up, you could potentially get anyone. I'm not going to mention some names because you guys might say I'm silly, but you guys will probably know who I'm talking about. And I'm really happy as well for Sivananthi, hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Sivananthi Nonchinga, who got his revenge against Creel in Mexico. And the reason I'm happy is because obviously, look, I used to live in South Africa. I know he's training very well. Colin Nathan, he's trainer and manager. And I think South African boxing needed that because they've had it ridiculously bad recently of a lot of their champions getting smoked, and not just their champions, contenders going abroad and getting smoked. And I guess when Nonchinga got smoked last time out, it just looked really bad on South African boxing. It looked really bad on Colin Nathan, but they've gone back to the drawing board, changed a couple of things in camp, and got the job done. And I think it's really, really good. All right, anything else before we wrap? Let's quickly go. No, that's it. We're done. It's a quick one. Did you guys watch the face-off? AJ Ngannou, very friendly in it. What could I do? You know, sometimes you're there, you're doing these things. And look, I've grown up watching Max Kellerman and Johnny Nelson, who are the best, the two best at it. So I'm trying to get better at doing it. But even with those ones, they've done ones where it's just not caught fire. Like, we know when you think of Johnny Nelson doing it, in my head, the first one that comes to mind is Froch Groves, right? And there's been a couple of others as well that have been really good. Froch Groves, Dillian White, AJ was very, very good. Dillian White, Chisora. Look at the personalities in those. I mean, sometimes you can only work with what you're working with. Do you know what I mean? And I hope the one I do tomorrow will catch fire because we've got two guys that can talk, two guys that genuinely do not like each other. No bullshit. And fingers crossed it sparks just a little bit better. Peace and love.